Well, it's hoped nearly every Kiwi throughout the country will experience 10 times faster internet speeds by 2025. But does this mean rural parts of Canterbury will finally get the connection they've been hoping for? Chelsea Daniels reports.
The government has announced plans for a 10-year strategy for national broadband. They want 99% of Kiwis to experience download speeds of 50 megabits per second by 2025, with only about 40% being able to do that now. But how realistic is this figure?
I think it's eminently achievable, and I'd like to hope it will go even further, but at the same time we want to be bold with our vision, but also be realistic.
The remaining 1% should be able to access speeds of 10 megabits per second. Rural communities have experienced long delays on reliable broadband, and Adam says it's no surprise.
Well, it's very expensive. As you get into a situation where you have only a small number of people occupying a large area of land, the cost gets higher and higher. And one of the things that I don't think often rural communities are aware of is the government has so far spent $2 billion on connectivity programs, and actually we're spending more per person in the rural areas than we are in the urban areas. But in the rural areas, it costs so much more to do a connection.
She says the importance of high-speed broadband for New Zealanders is vital, especially in rural areas like North Canterbury.
I get so passionate about this stuff. Every single thing we do is going to be revolutionised by technology. So whether it's getting education out to our kids, even in the most remote communities, whether it's providing healthcare from birth to right through to old age, the internet means that we can have the highest quality of resource available everywhere. It's around connecting as communities and as individuals. It's Skyping your grandkids on the other side of the world.
She says rural communities will benefit the most under the new targets, which mark a tenfold increase on the current peak speeds.
When the National Government took office in 2008, rural broadband speeds were incredibly low. They were less, for most people, less than 1 megabit a second. I know in my home we were getting about 200 kilobits a second, so that's 0.2 of a megabit. So we set our first goal as saying we wanted to get that up to 5 megabits a second, which is a pretty good functional speed and a huge improvement on what was there. And so that's what the Rural Broadband Initiative has been about.
And rural communities should expect to see faster internet by the end of next year.
Well, by the end of December next year, we will have finished the rollout of what we're calling RBI, so the Rural Broadband Initiative Phase 1, and that's to get speeds of 5 megabits a second available to 97.8% of New Zealand. So that's where we'll be then, and as I said, that's a huge step forward. But already we're working on the Rural Broadband Initiative Phase 2, which is to move those speeds up even further.
The 2025 target is aligned with the government's approach to boosting economic growth throughout the country.
It's absolutely transformative. We had a report out from the Innovation Partnership last year that said that if all of the small businesses in New Zealand were making the most of the internet to not only do things like drive sales, but actually to increase productivity, to monitor their efficiency, to track their environmental impacts, we could see productivity gains of around $34 billion. So there are huge wins in this. As I said, whether it's if you're on a farm, whether it's monitoring pasture growth, effluent levels, water levels, production levels in real time, the efficiency gains are tremendous.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.